What is up, guys? Welcome to the second part of my lore playthrough. So we're just starting things off here on the beautiful coastline of the Limgrave Beach. And we're just kind of trucking along here. Before I head into our next cave here, I actually just want to pay a little visit over here to the merchant.
What do you need? I don't want any trouble.
So we're just going to pick up the cookbook here and whatever else we can afford at the moment. It's not too important here, though. A little bit of lore behind these merchants is that they were actually part of a group called the Great Caravan. And sometime before the events of the game, they were hunted and murdered in mass numbers, and only very few remain. So that's actually when you find them in the game. They're always in these kind of isolated places. Some are excited to see you, others are, weary of you, thinking that you might kill them, and it's for good reason. These guys were they were given the bad end of the stick, that's for sure. The next time we talk to Kale, which was the merchant we met in the very beginning, we'll get a little bit more backstory on the merchants and their tragic fate. But for now, let's just continue on. So, in the cave we go. Now, I haven't forgotten about Bok the Demi-Human's quest. I'll be bringing him here later once I do his initial dialogues, but for now, let's just go ahead and go through this cave and clear things out. So here we are in the boss room for fighting against the Demi-Human Chief. We just made our distance here to get our wolves out and then start blasting these guys with the spells to take them out nice and quick. And here we have the tailoring tools and the sewing needle that actually belongs to Bok the Demi-Human. When we meet him, we'll be actually continuing his quest and allowing him to use that to be a seamster. Now the garment altering mechanic in this game is a little disappointing, as you can only really remove some capes off of some gear. Anyway, we're going to head out the exit of this cave, and this actually leads out to another area. I'm not going to bother with that Demi-Human there. Just going to run past these guys. this actually takes us out to this little isolated island that you can see when you're over on the other side of the beach there. And up here there's some interesting stuff, mainly the Church of Dragon Communion, which if you're doing a Faith Arcane build is very busted. And sorry, what I mean about that is that every time you kill a dragon or a worm, you get a dragon heart, and those dragon hearts can be brought back here in exchange for some really awesome incantations that most of the time either breathe fire or whip out a dragon's claw or a dragon's mouth or something. It's really cool. My other main account actually has that build going, and that's how I cleared most of the bosses. If you actually look at my other videos, you'll see that. But of course for this playthrough we're going to be doing a mage, so Dragon Communion stuff isn't going to be our focus, but I just thought I might share that information. Alright, so we're just heading on back to the first step to kind of just begin exhausting out all the different character dialogues that we've been meaning to do. I know I didn't do much of that in the first part, but it was mainly because we were just kind of getting things going and picking up some stuff we wanted. But yeah, in this part here we're going to be really going full gear with the character dialogue and exploration on that part. So if you take a peek at the map here, you can see that I've marked a bunch of spots on the map. That's actually a few locations where some NPCs will be at. I've got another map next to me that I'm kind of referencing to see where all them at so that we can get some proper conversations with them. Obviously, you can see I already explored the coastal cave, so when I beat Bach the demi-human, I'll be able to just travel back there and really smoothly get his quest going. So far on the map, we've marked the spots for Bach, Selen, Patches, and Yura the Hunter. Most important out of these is actually Selen, since we're going to be a sorcerer. We're going to be wanting to study sorcery from her, because she is a trainer. Alright, here's our friend Yura, so let's talk to him.
Ah, you must be the new Tarnished. You do well to steer clear of a Gill Lake, fledgling. A dragon roosts there, and it's as fearsome as it is majestic. So, unless you're mad, or wish to be burned alive, stay clear of the lake. Don't be a fool. Turn back before it's too late. Don't be a fool.
So Yura's dialogue actually does change after you kill the dragon in the lake. We'll probably be doing that later. We're mainly just going through his dialogue here so that we can get him as a summon somewhere else later on. Alright, so we're just going to jump up on top of here and kind of avoid all the enemies attacking us to pick up the Royal House Scroll. That's actually something we're going to give to the sorcerer Selin so that she can expand her repertoire of different sorceries to teach us. And just having a quick looky at the map here, marking up some extra spots to find Selin, since we got our Royal House Scroll first. Here we are at the Waypoint Ruins. I'm going to come here and meet up with Selin. So once you kind of get past all those pesky plant enemies, you're going to have to face a mini-boss to access Selin. So, yeah, shouldn't be too bad with a couple of wolf summons. Alright, and just like that, we took out Mr. Pumpkinhead over here, and we can go ahead and meet our new teacher.
Tarnished, are we? I wonder you should turn up here. I am Selin, a sorcerer, quite plainly. Why are you here? Ah, a yen for glintstone sorceries. Well, your aptitude does appear passable, but one must choose one's masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to learn from me? Well, you are a piece of work. Very well. You are now my protégé in glintstone sorcery. But I refuse to coddle, or cast kind words. Never anticipate grievances, young apprentice.
So if you have a look at these initial sorceries that's available, they're not entirely
Is that a
too
scroll?
great. So once you give her the scroll,
Takes me
actually
back
you'll
to
get
my academy
access to a
days.
few better
Very well.
sorceries that you can learn right away.
This is sorcery with which I'm not entirely... I'll be sure to incorporate it into one of your lessons. Never lose that inquisitive spirit, my apprentice.
So mainly being the Carrion Slicer here and the Great Blade Phalanx as well. Now actually, since we're a prisoner, there are a few of the basic sorceries that I don't have because I didn't start the Astrologer class, like the Glintstone Pebble and the Glintstone Arc, so obviously you're going to pick that up because they're very, very handy for the early game, and they kind of clean through enemies very nicely. We're going to go ahead here and unequip the Glint Blade and give us a Pebble here, since it's kind of a better spell. It's a little bit more easy to cast and doesn't have a delay. Gonna pop some runes here so we can level up some stats. We're looking to get our dex and strength numbers up so we can use the Meteoric Ore Blade here, finally. Beautiful. Now I got ourselves our brand new katana to use. And off we go. Alright, and we're going to our favorite apocalyptic area, Caelid. And we're actually just going to go ahead and take out the large dragon up on the Dragon's Barrow for the nice little rune exploit. I've marked the spot on the map. Most of you know where to go by that point, so yeah, just go on ahead and get over there. Make sure not to forget about that map fragment. Now we have a good chunk of Caelid's map unlocked. And then, yeah, there's that little area over there. And that's kind of where we're going to go and deal with the dragon. I'm just carefully scaling the side of the cliff here. And then we're coming up to the Fort Faroth Site of Grace. You're going to need to make sure to rest at the Site of Grace before you go ahead and do anything here. It just kind of unlocks a good sort of waypoint for where you're going to go later. Now, actually, behind us in that building, Fort Faroth, there is actually a really good talisman called Ratagon Sorceal. It significantly increases all of your stats to only kind of give you more damage received as a trade-off, but it's very good. And we're going to start going to town on this dragon until he starts bleeding. It's going to take a while, so let's do a nice little edit of that. Alright, and there we are. A nice little free rune exploit. Now, actually, I did make a mistake here, as you want to use a rune buffing item to get a little bit more runes out of this exploit. You can actually end up with 90,000 instead of 70,000, but I forgot, so whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Not a game changer by any means, but if you're looking to do this yourself, I would recommend picking up a gold pickled foul foot. That will increase the amount of runes you get per enemy killed. Yeah, and there's actually a few of them open to you, or available to you, sorry, in the beginning of the game. So, yeah, just from some food for thought. And then we're going to increase some of our stats here, like Vigor and Endurance, as well as a little bit of Intelligence to kind of beef up our damage. Alright, now that we got that little thing out of the way, we're going to go ahead and meet up with our friend Bach the Seamster.
Oi! You there. Could you help us out, Cully? You? Yeah, you there. Stop pretending you can't see me. What you... Oh, yes. I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell, weren't you? Thank you. The name's Bok. I was pushed out of the cave. Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really. Oh, what a shame. When they threw me out of the cave, they took everything I owned. And so this is all I have to express my thanks. I hope you can forgive me.
Don't worry, buddy, I forgive you.
Or, well, if I could sneak back into the cave and bring back something of actual value, then I'd be of some real use to you, I reckon. Right, but I'll need a moment. I'm frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees start knocking, just thinking about that god-awful cave on the shore. Right, but I'll need a moment.
So Bach, of course, is referring to the cave that we went to earlier that had the demi-human chiefs. Those are his people. And you may actually want to just talk to him first before clearing it, but it doesn't really matter.
Oh, what are you doing here? You must leave this place at once. Wait, is that what I think it is? You got it back for me. My sewing needle. What made you go and do a thing like that? My mum was a seamstress, and that sewing kit was all I had to remember her by. I always wanted to be just like sweet old Mum. Then I suppose I can't just curl up and die, can I? Thank you. You're very kind. I always wanted to be a seamster like my mum. Then I suppose I can't just curl up and die, can I? Thank you. You're very kind.
So that's it for Bach for now, but we'll be running into him again later as he'll become our seamster and help us alter our garments. Alright, so now we're just a little bit overdue on visiting the Round Table Hold, so we're going to talk to Melina and go ahead and do that.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Round Table Hold. I'm Corin, a man of the cloth. I teach incantations, the strength granted us by the Two Fingers, and explore the secrets of the Golden Order, so that one day, if a Tarnished of the Round Table Hold should become Elden Lord, I might counsel them, ensuring order regains its proper form, righting rule over men. By the way, do you still see it? The guidance of grace. You do? Wonderful news. Most Tarnished are blind to it these days. You are something of a rare breed. Well, what do you say? Care to learn an incantation of the Two Fingers? May the Golden Order shine through you.
I don't believe we've met. I'm known as D. I hunt down those who live in death and weed their death root. Heed my warning. Those who live in death should be left well alone. All the more should you spy a mariner among their number. Unless you wish to lay down your life in vain.
Ah, hello. You must be new here. Well, just call me Dialos. The honor of one's house holds little import in these lands. By the way, have you met a young woman named Lanya on your travels? She's my servant, but fickle as the wind. Take your eyes off her for but a moment and she's good as gone. If you find her, please be sure to tell me. Be sure to tell me if you meet a young woman named Lanya. She's a servant to my house. She's been my companion since childhood. I've lost count of the number of times I've had to find her like this. Honestly, she's such a little tomboy. Be sure to tell me if you meet a young woman named Lanya.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. I can't remember the last time a new Tarnished made their way to the Round Table. Very well. As your senior, I bid you welcome. It is safe here. You may let down your guard. Allow me a word of advice. As your senior, you are a mere visitor to the Round Table. Nothing more. A house guest. Yet to earn their keep. Remember your place, newcomer.
Just having our chats here with the members of the Round Table Hold. All of them actually have their own quest lines that go off in all kinds of directions. This character over here, bit of a jerk, tries to attack you later. And the Twin Maiden Husks over here, which you can exchange bell bearings for items. Most importantly, though, we want to pick up the Memory Stone here, so that'll give us an extra spell slot.
You're a new face. No matter. It's all the same. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing.
This is, of course, Hugh the Blacksmith. We're not going to upgrade too many of our weapons, or actually any at all right now, because we're saving our smithing bits for our better weapon here. And we actually need Somber Stones for the Meteoric Ore Blade.
Back already. No matter. I see you've noticed the chains. Nothing special.
I'm a prisoner and these are my chains. I'm trapped by the hold. Undying, smithing for you fools. That's all there is to it. No, don't read too much into it. I've no grudge against you. My being a prisoner is no fault of yours. Besides, I don't mind smithing. Despite my differences, the weapons get stronger all the same. Given time, technique never fails. Besides, it helps me forget the sheer terror of her.
Via the Death Companion.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hold. Great champion, would you allow me to hold you? But briefly, perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness. Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Balderkin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act. I understand. Your disdain is only natural, but should you change your mind, come pay me another visit.
So her name as the Deathbed Companion comes from the fact that she actually lies with dead bodies. So, yeah, I'm gonna refuse a hug from her. She actually also debuffs your health when you do that and gives you this item called Balderkin's Blessing, which will, like, give you brief poise while you fight, but it's not really worth it. And we're gonna do her quest stuff a bit later, as she does also have her own quest line. As we'll continue it in the next part here. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.